Hey, this is Leanne with Paper Heart Scissors, and the October Simon Says Stamp card kit came, and I'm so sorry, I'm a little bit behind. I have had such a busy fall, but today we're going to make a gold mica and coral shaker card with the fuse tool and some mica water-soluble paint, because when I opened the kit up, I just felt like it looked so perfectly matched to the beautiful papers in the kit. There's a lot of gold and coral and black and grays, and I had gotten this mica and I'd seen Sandy Allnock use it, and I just loved it immediately because I thought that I could definitely do some handwriting on some darker paper. But then when I looked at the colors, and I thought I could mix it with the abandoned coral distress ink, and it really turned out beautifully. So here I've sped up the camera so that I will not be torturing you with the entire process of doing this, but literally you can either get the paper wet first, or you can just apply some of the mica directly to the paper. And then I was using a acrylic block, and I added a bunch of the ink onto the acrylic block, and I wasn't actually enough. Maybe if you had a re-inker, you could get enough ink onto the paper. So then I just started to smoosh it, and that really worked well, getting the mica and the distress ink to really blend. I didn't want to contaminate my ink pad there, so be careful when you do that, that you kind of give it a wipe in between, or that you're using a big enough block that you can use the other corner. So then I wanted to add some more abandoned coral and do some splatters, and you can see that I just started to add more and more water, and this dries so beautifully, just like you see on the front of the card and at the beginning of the video. It makes an amazing background. I wanted to make some little strips to add to other projects, so you see me, I'm kind of making background papers and that. And then to get the kind of spatters, I have a lot of luck with this technique, which is literally putting some color on a block and just using the brush to kind of splatter it on. But with the gold mica, it's just the right texture for you actually to do it from the brush. You get these really nice splotches. So, and they will actually kind of blend into the other water and color that you have on the paper. But but not as much as the distressing. So you end up with this really lovely layered, kind of grungy look, if you will. And then I just couldn't resist kind of continuing going on with my brush here and adding more mica in the corners. Kind of, I'm thinking that I'm going to use these as backgrounds. So I'm picking up as much of the distress ink off the board and then splattering the mixture of both. And here you can see how beautifully this kind of flows together. There's the dry version. So, and there's the front of the card. When it's dry, it is gorgeous. So I took the heart kind of geometric stamp that was in the kit, and because we're going to make a shaker card, I'm actually going to cut this heart out. I used just a pencil around the outside of the stamp after I embossed it, just to draw a little, a line just kind of on around the outside in pencil, and I'm just using a little Fisker's finger cutter that actually rotates when you're cutting, and it does a really nice job, and it's really easy to use, so you don't have to have a die cut for this or that, just to cut some simple shapes. And I'm going to put that heart that I cut out actually on the inside of the card later, but I'm going to use it to position where I'm going to have the shaker card. So I'm going to put this down, and I'm actually going to trace where I'm going to have the shaker be, and then I'm also going to stamp that heart again, and I'm going to use Hot Lips from Simon Says Stamp dye ink here, and get a really beautiful bright pinky heart. And then the in between there, I'm going to make a little shaker out of a plastic sack, which is so easy with the fuse tool. So if you have any sheet protectors or old scrapbooking pockets that just aren't the right size, and I think it even works on acetate as well, is what I read, that you can use the fuse tool to make acetate stick together, so that if you had, you know, old covers from your stamps or things like that, you could certainly do that. So I let this heat up, and I actually saw Sherry Carroll do this. You can see that I have a ball jar sitting up above in the corner there, and I let it rest in the ball jar while it's heating up, and I put it back in there. The little stand that comes with it is not so great, but using just a glass or a jar is perfect. It keeps it from getting tipped over, and it's right there. It doesn't burn in your surface or that. So there were some little sequins that actually really went well with this color palette from the September card kit. And I'm going to use those inside of my shaker window, and I'm going to add a little bit more gold. I had some other gold sequins, and I put those in there so it was very full. When you use a pocket and the fuse tool, the shaker space is more contained, so you can actually move the bits around a little bit more, and they're not going to move around as much as they might if you had as big a space as when you're just doing it with acetate on a card base. So literally, now that that's a nice sealed little pocket, I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of that, and I wanted it to actually be a little bit raised up off the surface, so I'm using foam tape, and I'm going to apply foam tape to the back of the card as well, and make sure that I'm not applying foam tape where I have it behind the window, so that I don't have double adhesive poking up anywhere. And I did that, and it is really beautiful. It's so fun. And then I had used the little hello die with the kit and done some in black, thinking I was going to do that, and cut some little words out from one of the other papers. And then the black was too strong, so I actually made a little piece of paper with using Hero Art's new brass embossing powder, which is really beautiful gold. It actually perfectly matched that mica, and I cut the word hello out of that and used some glossy accents to adhere it to the front of the card, and added a few sequins, and we have a beautiful card. I'm definitely going to make some more of these for my friends. I think it turned out so beautifully. I hope you like this and were inspired. All the card making tips and supplies are at my blog, and please join me again on this channel, and I hope to see you soon.